Hey guys, my name's Jesse, and I wanted to start doing some videos for young investors on different stocks and how to look at the market and different economic and political things going on in the country right now. And I thought a good company to look at to start with would be Tesla. There's a lot of controversy around this company. There's a lot of different views on whether it's a good company, a good stock, a good investment, or whatnot. And so I just kind of wanted to give my thoughts on it and see what you guys thought and kind of create a conversation around it. So I think the best way to do a video on this company is to kind of do three pros and then three cons to why we should own Tesla or why we shouldn't. So I'll start with the three pros. I think first, Tesla has obviously been a show me story since it came public. It's really shown me, at least, that it's able to actually perform the way it said it's going to. I believe if you look, so its sales last year, I believe, were around 12 billion, and then this year they were like 20 billion, I want to say, and based on the growth that they had in the first quarter, it should end up being around 30 billion by the end of the year. So this is enormous growth for the company, considering it only has a market cap of $40 billion, and with all the areas that they want to go into and all the new driverless cars that they want to do, the new insurance program they're going to have, the fact that they own Solar City, the fact that they're building semi-trucks and they're going to have a new model for trucks and then the Model Y coming out this year. I think they've really shown with the Model 3 that they're able to produce what they said they were going to be able to. And I think that's really important. I think that's a really important thing for them to be able to show investors. So I think that's one pro that they've been able to do. They've actually been able to show that they're able to sell Model 3s. So number two, I think they have a strong competitive advantage in a couple areas. First of all, they have a strong competitive advantage in the fact that they sell direct to the consumer largely, so they don't have to deal with dealerships, and this basically allows them to control their own inventory, to create their own float, as well as it allows them to sell direct to consumers. I watched a video from Adam Conover where he was talking about the fact that if we sold cars directly to consumers rather than through dealerships, we could probably save about $2,000 on an individual car. So if you assume someone owns a car for, say, 5 to 10 years, they could be saving a couple $100 a year just based on that, based on their car. That's important because transportation is super, super expensive. And so we want to try to figure out ways around that. And I think Tesla has an advantage there. They also have an advantage in their battery capacity. They have the best batteries in the industry compared to other electric vehicles, and they're always improving them. Finally, I think the third competitive advantage they have in this area is the fact that they have the best self-driving capabilities in the market right now. They, according to Elon Musk, they expect to have self-driving robo-taxis in the next year, which would be amazing. And they think that this will bring down the cost per mile of transportation from 60 cents a mile, which it is for oil and gasoline cars, to 20 cents a mile, which would be incredible. If we can reduce the cost of transportation by 66%, that's going to be huge. So those are two of their big advantages. A third pro that I think they also have is they have a very innovative culture compared to a lot of other car companies. And this allows them to create their Gigafactory, for example, has a lot of automation in it. So this helps them reduce prices and it leads to a lot of efficiency that other car companies don't have. And I also think they have a bigger belief in what they're doing than a lot of car companies do. So I think for these reasons, you have three really big pros to Tesla. Now let's move on to a couple cons. So the first con with Tesla is it's very, very expensive on an earnings basis. And you can tell this because they don't make money. They didn't make money last year. They're not expected to make money this year. So you can't even have a price to earnings because they have losses right now. So this makes it seem like they could be really expensive. Now they're projected to have big earnings in the future, but you don't know if that's going to happen, or to the extent they think it's going to happen, it might not. So that's a little worrying if you're looking at investing in the company. A second con, I think, is that you're starting to see more competition enter the market against them. And this is going to create problems if companies like Audi and Cadillac and other premium automakers come in and start competing with them, because you're not going to be able to have the dominance in the market that you've had. They're the number one selling car right now in America, but that won't last if other people are able to come in and create similar cars. And then I think third and finally, the fact that they're losing a lot of the incentives from the government for tax credits, I think that's going to hurt them a lot. And they've already had to reduce their prices, and so that's going to lead to a lower margin for them, which is something you don't want as a car company. The automobile industry has been very competitive. There have been hundreds of automobile companies in this country, and only 2 have never gone bankrupt. Those are Ford and Tesla. And so the key is how do they make sure that they don't follow that trek of becoming one of those automobile companies. So that's kind of 3 pros and 3 cons to the Tesla story. And so now I want to do a little conclusion on what I think as an investment, whether I think it's a good idea or not. I personally think that Tesla is still relatively overvalued, but it could be a good investment in the future. I would say that I think it's good to wait until that they have profit before you look at buying them. But I will also say I've been fairly wrong on this company for the last 2 years. I've not been a big supporter of buying the stock because I thought it was overvalued, but I think they've shown that they're able to create a lot of sales in a way that I didn't think they would be able to. And they've also kind of built a brand kind of like Apple, where I think they're a leading player in the automobile space. So I think I could be wrong about it, but I would at least wait a little bit until I get a better grasp on their earnings. Let me check this real quick. So according to NASDAQ, in 2022, they're going to have $24 worth of earnings. And if they're actually able to do that, then you're probably looking at a stock around $400 or $500 by the end of 2022, which is only like 3 years away. So that would be a great value at its current price of $200. But I would say, I don't think it would be the end of the world to wait, let it rebound, maybe go to $250, $300, make sure that they're actually earning money and that they're positive and that the company isn't cash flow constrained, like Elon Musk has just come out and said they need to make big cuts. So, your earnings might be, you might not be able to earn as much as you otherwise would have if you bought it now, but your risk will be lower, I think. So I would probably wait a little bit. But if it makes sense, if like in a year it's trading at, say, $250 and they become profitable and the earnings look like there's a higher likelihood that they're going to happen, then I would say, look at it, especially for younger, growth-oriented investors. I think it could be a good purchase. But right now I think I would probably have to pass. So that's kind of my view on it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I want to start making videos like this as much as possible, kind of expressing my own views on certain companies, different industries, the economy in general and stuff. So if you're a millennial investor and you're interested in this stuff, I would love for you to post below my videos. I'd love for you to subscribe or message me or interact with me somehow, and hopefully we can create a community where we're talking about stuff like this. So I really appreciate the time, and I hope you enjoyed the video.